Good morning, boys and girls. Today we're going to be reading the book Math Curse. I hope you enjoy. Math Curse by John Shiska and Lane Smith. If the sum of my nieces and nephews equals 15 and their product equals 54, and I have more nephews than nieces, how many nephews and how many nieces is this book dedicated to? If I divide the number of years my dad was an accountant, 30, by the number of years I needed help with my math, 30, I get one dedication for Dad, the CPA. Lane Smith. On Monday, in math class, Mrs. Fabinacci says, "You know, you can think of almost everything as a math problem." On Tuesday, I start having problems. I wake up at 7:15. It takes me 10 minutes to get dressed, 15 minutes to eat my breakfast, and 1 minute to brush my teeth. Suddenly, it's a problem. If my bus leaves at 8, will I make it on time? How many minutes in 1 hour? How many teeth in one mouth? I look in my closet and the problems get worse. I have 1 white shirt, 3 blue shirts, 3 striped shirts, and that 1 ugly plaid shirt my Uncle Zeno sent me. How many shirts is that all together? How many shirts would I have if I threw away that awful plaid shirt? When will Uncle Zeno quit sending me such ugly shirts? I'm getting a little worried. Everything seems to be a problem. I'm looking up and can find a shirt. I take the milk out for my cereal and wonder, how many quarts in a gallon? How many pints in a quart? How many inches in a foot? How many feet in a yard? How many yards in a neighborhood? How many inches in a pint? How many feet in my shoes? I don't even bother to take out the cereal. I don't want to know how many flakes in a bowl. Mrs. Fabinacci has obviously put a math curse on me. Everything I look at or think about has become a math problem. Have you ever had that happen? I try to get on the bus without thinking about anything, but there are 5 kids already on the bus. 5 kids get on at my stop, 5 more get on at the next stop, and 5 more get on at the last stop. True or false? What is the bus driver's name? Mrs. Fabinacci has this chart of what month everyone's birthday is in. Which month has the most birthdays? Which month has the fewest? Why doesn't February have a W? Don't you think this chart looks sort of like a row of buildings? Do you ever look at clouds and think they look like something else? What does this ink blot look like to you? I know I've looked at clouds before and tried to figure out what they look like. The whole morning is one problem after another. There are 24 kids in my class. I just know someone is going to bring in cupcakes to share. We sit in 4 rows with 6 desks in each row. What if Mrs. Fabinacci rearranges the desk to make 6 rows? 8 rows? 3 rows? 2 rows? I count the 24 kids in our class again, this time by 2s. Jake scratches his paper with 1 finger. How many fingers are in our class? How many ears are in our class? The new girl, Kelly, sticks her tongue out at me. How many tongues in our class? I'm about to really lose it when the lunch bell rings. Unfortunately for me, lunch is pizza and apple pie. Each pizza is cut into 8 equal slices. Each pie is cut into 6 equal slices. And you know what that means? Fractions. If I want 2 slices of pizza, should I ask for A, 1/8, B, 2/8, or C, 2 slices of pizza? Number 2, what is another way to say 1/2 of an apple pie? A, 2/6, B. 3/6. C. La moitié une tarte aux pommes. Number 3. Which tastes greater? A. Half of a pizza. B. Half of an apple pie. We haven't studied fractions yet, so I take 12 carrot sticks, 3 at a time, and eat them 2 at a time. In the afternoon, every subject is a problem. Social studies is a geography problem. The Mississippi River is about 4,000 kilometers long. An M&M is about 1 centimeter long. There are 100 centimeters in a meter and 1,000 meters in a kilometer. Number 1. Estimate how many M&Ms it would take to measure the length of the Mississippi River. Number 2. Estimate how many M&Ms you would eat if you had to measure the Mississippi River with M&Ms. Bonus. Can you spell Mississippi without any M&Ms? English is a word problem. If mail plus box equals mailbox, number 1, does lipstick minus stick equal lip? Number 2, does tuna fish plus tuna fish equal forna fish? Phys ed is a sports problem. In 1919, Babe Ruth hit 29 home runs, batted .322, and made $40,000. In 1991, the average Major League Baseball player hit 15 home runs, batted .275, and made $840,000. Circle the correct answer. Babe Ruth less than the average modern baseball player. Babe Ruth greater than the average modern baseball player. Babe Ruth equal the average modern baseball player. In art, we finally get to relax with a connect the dot picture. Here is my picture. Too bad it turns out to be a connect the ancient Mayan numerals picture. Math is just a total problem. Mrs. Fabinacci says there are many ways to count. She asked us to give some examples. Russell counts on his fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Molly says 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Mrs. Fabinacci says, I always count 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. But on the planet Tetra, kids have only 2 fingers on each hand. They count 1, 2, 3, 10. And on the planet Binary, kids have only 1 finger on each hand. They count 1, 10. Number 1, what are the next 5 minutes in each sequence above? Number 2, do you think Mrs. Fabinacci has been to the planet Tetra? Number 3, how would you bowl if you lived on the planet Binary? We are just about to go home when Rebecca remembers the special birthday cakes her mom made. There are 24 kids in the class. Rebecca has 24 cupcakes. So what's the problem? Rebecca wants Mrs. Fabinacci to have a cupcake too. Everyone is going crazy trying to figure out what fraction of a cupcake each person will get. I'm the first to figure out the answer. I raise my hand and tell Mrs. Fabinacci I'm allergic to cupcakes. Everyone, 24, believes me and gets 1 cupcake. No one has to figure out fractions. I stagger out of school. I'm a math zombie now. I have to find something to break this math curse. I decide to try chocolate. My favorite candy bar is usually 50 cents. But guess what? Today it's on sale for 50% off. Minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. Where a is the number of letters in your first name, b equals your age, and c equals your shoe size. I decide to buy licorice instead. I pull out my money. I have a $5 bill, a $1 bill, a quarter, and a penny. George Washington is on both the quarter and the $1 bill. Abraham Lincoln is on both the penny and the $5 bill. So which is true? Letter A, 1 Washington equals 25 Lincolns. B, 5 Washingtons equal 1 Lincoln. C, 1 Washington equals 100 Lincolns. Or D, 1 Lincoln equals 20 Washingtons. Don't forget to show your work. Extra credit. How do you think Thomas Jefferson feels about all of this? I am now a raving math lunatic. What if this keeps up for a whole year? How many minutes of math madness would that be? What's your problem, says my sister. 365 days times 24 hours times 60 minutes, I snarl. Dinner brings no relief. While passing the mashed potatoes, Mom says, what your father says is false. Dad helps himself to some potatoes and says, what your mother says is true. I think about that for a minute. If what Mom says is true, then what Dad says is false. But if what Dad says is false, then what Mom says isn't true. And if what Mom says isn't true, then what Dad says isn't false. But that can't be true because he says that what Mom says is true, and she says that what he says is false. Can that be true? I think about that. Then I think about it some more. Then I think I'd better go to bed. I undo 8 buttons plus 2 shoelaces. I subtract 2 shoes. I multiply times 2 socks and divide by 3 pillows to get 5 sheep. Remainder 1, which is all I need to count before I fall asleep. Then the problems really begin. I dream I'm trapped in a room with no doors and no windows. The room is covered with a lifetime of problems. I have only 1 piece of chalk. How do I get out? I'm about to give up and die when the answer to my problem comes to me. Fractions. I break the chalk in half, then I put the 2 halves together. 1 half plus 1 half equals 1 whole. I put the hole in the wall on the wall and jump out. I'm free. I wake up Wednesday morning at 7:15. It takes me 10 minutes to get dressed, 15 minutes to eat my breakfast, and 1 minute to brush my teeth. My bus leaves at 8 a.m. What time will I be ready? 7:41. No problem. I've broken the math curse. I can solve any problem, and life is just great until science class, when Mr. Newton says, you know, you can think of almost everything as a science experiment. Well, boys and girls, I hope you liked our book, Math Curse, and Miss Tier is going to be posting assignment on Canvas for you to complete. I hope you have fun, and I hope you have a great second day of 3rd grade.